Welcome, everybody, to episode 50, season 2 of The Guys You Trust with Your Drink. We are 2 episodes away from completing season 2 and having it be just, crazy to think we've made it this far. I feel like last year around this time, I also thought the same thing. I was like, there's no way we did a whole 50 episode or a whole 52 episodes.
Right. Yeah, it's insane, dude. And it just popped up to me, but I want to say this year we had less delays, but I'm not for sure. First year, I think I was still on
less delays,
coming off the road. Yeah, weekly.
Oh, this year we've had less?
I think so. Since the last time, compared to the first year, I'm trying to remember.
Well,
I think so.
I don't. Maybe. I feel like we've had our fair share of delays for this season too.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm posting a Instagram story here.
Oh, no worries. I am trying to get all the chats up and running.
Get them chats up. How was your week?
Week was pretty good. Got back to church this week, which was nice.
Yeah.
For some reason, for one reason or another, the last 2 weeks I wasn't able to go. But going back it was nice. And this week I got to cook a new dinner.
Nice.
That was pretty fun. Is trying to think of the exact name, but roughly Korean barbecue shotgun shells were the name of it, and they were nice.
Tell me what that is.
So let's see. I'm trying to remember. I always forget what the name of the pasta is, but it's a huge pasta that's hollow, and it roughly is the same size.
Manicotti. Yeah.
Manicotti. Yes. So manicotti stuffed with pork and pork, beef, onions, and then you put I almost said wagovi sauce, not that. Some Korean sauce.
Yeah.
On top of that, and then wrap that in bacon, cover it in barbecue and a
wrap
rub.
It in bacon.
Yeah, and a barbecue rub. It was good time, man.
That sounds delicious.
Turned out real good.
I just tried to say what I made and read Maggie's message instead at the same time. I made homemade pickles, dill pickles.
Oh, fantastic!
Sliced up a cucumber, made a little brine, let them sit for a good while. Let me tell you, these pickles are delicious.
Fantastic, man.
Anything
special in the brine?
No, it's literally just vinegar, water, a little sugar, salt, mustard seed, and peppercorns. Oh, and garlic.
There you go, man. Garlic.
Let me tell you, those are delicious.
Heck yeah, man.
I want to make fried pickles with them.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Homemade fried pickles have got to be the bomb.com, dude.
I love a good fried pickle. You know this about me. When we were traveling on the road, I would, if a restaurant had fried pickles, I was like, give me those. I want those. Want to try them out. And I was telling somebody the other day about that, and I remembered the time we went to that burger place in Owasso. I don't even know if it's still open. But it's where the old Longhorns. No, it's where the old. It's across the street from Texas Roadhouse, I think. Exit 69 or 96.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right on the right side. If you're headed north up 169, it's on the right side. It wasn't the
Oh,
not garage, not the Garage Burger, but the other one. We went there with everybody, and I got that burger with the massive jalapeno on it. Like, we took all of our guys there.
Very nice.
Because we did a job.
Was it with work?
Yeah. You were there. And I'm pretty sure we've been there.
Was it the rock and roll place?
Yeah.
Yeah. S&B's. Dude, that place got taken down. They changed it.
Because they were the only place that I've ever got fried pickles, and the pickles were sweet and
oh yeah.
What is that called? Friggin'
like sweet and sour.
Sweet and sour pickle. No, it was like bread and butter. There you go. Like the bread and butter pickles. They're like
the buttery pickles.
Yes. Yeah. It's no good.
Not good.
No good.
Yeah.
And I reminisced about that because I'm pretty sure you were there, or maybe that was.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, could have swore Mike was with me when I did that. But homemade fried pickles sounds delicious. I may try I don't have a fryer anymore. I used to have a fryer. I threw it away when I moved because I was just like,
threw it away.
One less thing to pack. I'll buy another one if I want one.
Yeah, there you go.
But I do have an air fryer now. And maybe I'll try air fried pickles. They probably
that's supposed to be better for you too,
as
right?
good though, because I feel like they'll be less juicy, but who knows? I'm not sure.
Hey, only one way to try, right?
We did harvest a cucumber today. This thing was freaking girthy. Let me tell you, it was a little short. It was about 4 inches long, but it had some girth to it, man.
Good time. Always fun. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, man. The idea. I was trying to remember what some of the best fried pickles we've had. I
want to say that I remember the fried pickles in Stephenville, Texas, Stephenville, Texas. Mm-hmm. We went to that, and I don't know if it was the pickles or the fact that I got recognized as the hammer guy there. That made me remember the pickles, but they had good fried pickles there.
Very nice. Just all around good experience.
Yeah, great experience. Very awkward. To this day, I want to ask somebody who's like actually famous that has been like seen on the road. I'm sure like really, really famous people get tired of it. They just want to like don't. Maybe they don't. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm like, do you ever get used to it? You know, like where you're like not thrown off guard and nervous and like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Or like the first thing I always think is like, do I owe you money? Like, why are we?
Yeah. Hey, you. Or that time that guy was in Walmart and almost probably stabbed me or something.
Yeah. Was going to stab you. Exactly.
Don't know you from Jack. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it would depend on like why the person's famous.
True.
I would guess, you know, if you're a musician who just, you know, is a shut-in, I bet it's probably not as much fun.
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who's dang near politician. Sure. You know what I mean? Who's like out there for the people or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. Hey, Dingus.
Do not know. Dingus is here?
Redeemed second.
Got the second. Dingus, welcome in.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into Guess the House, Michael.
Let's do it.
We haven't played that in a minute. Let's see, make sure my sizing is correct. We are... You guys don't need to watch me type. Yeah, you do. It won't let me make... There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, behind the curtain. Don't watch me edit my screen. Stop.
We on 258? Does that sound right?
Yes, that is the one I'm on.
Good.
Looks like we've got Sullivan's Island, South Carolina.
Later, Dingus. Thanks for stopping by.
Got the boys right now, so I'll be out in and out. Have a great night, Dingus. Enjoy your boys. And I think my wife says to tell them hey, not het.
Tell them het.
Tell them het.
Het. Yes, het.
And you have to say it like you're in the German army. All right. From first glance, I can already see the chandelier through the front door. This house has got money in it. South Carolina.
Islands.
I'm gonna start us off at a solid 500K. And see where we're at. It's up 2 arrows. 2 arrows up with the 500K.
I'm gonna go 750.
750.
2 up from the 750.
Oh my god. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. So this is like, I bet beachfront.
That's well over $1 million. Okay, I'm going up to $1 million. It is 2 up from $1 million. It's the lot size is 0.27 of an acre. It's not. It's like just over a quarter of an acre. That area of South Carolina is tourist no money.
2.5.
2.5. Maggie with a 2.5 milli.
1 up from 2.5.
Holy cow! No way. I would not have guessed this. This looks like a really bad Airbnb inside, to be honest.
Oh yeah. I would not want to. You know, if it was an Airbnb, they would give you a cleaning tax for just breathing.
Yeah.
Is that a sky view?
There's certain Airbnbs that are way too themed, and it just, you feel like you can't touch anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather an Airbnb have less things in it than be like, or maybe it's just the fact that I feel like I'm in somebody else's house, even though I paid to be there.
That's you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got 5 beds, 4 baths, 1 up from 2.5. Maggie's saying 2.8.
1 up from 2.8.
1 up from 2.8. I'm gonna go 3.
Yeah. Dude.
It's an up from 3. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm on guess 5. What are you on?
This will be my guess 5.
Okay, do your guess 5. What do you got? You said 2.3?
Jeez. 2.25. And 3.25.
3.25. $14. Take it or leave it. So it's 3.25.
This last guess.
Oh no. It's not 3. I thought you said it was 3.25.
No,
it's not.
1 up from that. 1 up from that.
Okay. It's dang near waterfront. If it had a dock, I would. It's got a
3.6.
It's got a pool. This is our last guess. If Kevin gets it on the last guess,
right?
Did you put in 3.6 for Kevin?
Yeah, I'll put in Kevin's. What are you gonna put in?
I need one more guess that's not 3.6, and then we'll both submit at the same time. Unless you already did.
No.
Okay, I need one more guess that's not 3.6. Maggie's feeling 3.7. Okay. 307 or 3 million. It'll probably be 4.5.
It's 1 up from 3.6.
It's 1 up from 3.6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow I got one more guess, so I'm gonna put in Kevin's 4.5.
4.5. Wait, Maggie, do you want to re-guess because I didn't submit? Mike submitted before I could.
3.8.
You can change your guess. 3.8. Okay. That's the wrong thing. 3.8. On 3, Michael. This is our last guess.
Okay. Yep.
3, 2, 1. 4.2. Oh my gosh. I think this is the first guess the house we've gotten wrong.
I think we got some wrong in the beginning.
Did we get a couple wrong?
Before we found out Kevin was a savant.
Yeah. 4.2. Did Kevin get it with this 4.6? No, he was too far off.
4.5 was too far. Yeah.
Dang. That's
gum.
4,200,000 for this house is nuts.
That's nuts. Yeah.
I
hope it's built well.
You're backed up on like a lagoon.
Yeah. And then the beach is the opposite direction of where they took this picture.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the ocean.
You can see it like wrap around. Yeah.
So they got
interesting.
The house next to it. If you see, on the last picture 6.
Yeah.
If you look at the house next to it,
gosh,
to the right, it looks more like a $4.2 million house, but that one's huge.
Geez, look at how many rooms in that freaking the one to its right. That's nuts.
Goodness. All right, next one.
Previous day, right?
Yes, previous day. We're going to Viva Las Vegas. And
Las Vegas.
If a house looked like I built it in Minecraft, it would be this house. This is the most boring looking house I've ever seen in my life. But it is in Vegas. 2-car garage, and they still park something in the driveway.
Yeah, that's a lot of freaking space. This is
the last one was in South Carolina.
It looks AI.
Yeah. Show these cactuses look AI. Are those real or are they fake? I can't tell.
I'm pretty sure they're fake. I think they're fake.
All right, starting bid. Enter a price. What do you got?
Wow, it's in Las Vegas, so
it's Vegas, baby. 6 guesses.
I guess it's pretty high.
650 to get us started, and it's 1 up from 650. Dingus with the 1.4. Kevin says 9. I'll go 1.4 for Dingus if you want to go 9 for Kevin.
Okay, 1 down from 9.
Okay, 2 down from 1.4. 1.4 mil. So it's between 650 and 900 thou. Dowie wowie.
Dowie wowie.
Dowie wowie.
Yeah, that's a lot of space.
Boring
it's
inside.
Under $1 million. That's kind of surprising, honestly.
50 for Maggie. 750.
750 for Kevin.
755. It is
755.
Yeah, do 755.
Oh,
it's 760.
What you got?
Maggie technically got it with 750, but Kevin was closer with the extra $5,000 in there.
Dang.
So Kevin won the bidding war. This house screams
cozy.
Not a lot going on.
It looks like
was it a built? When was it
card
built?
collector who deals cards online. That's what I'm guessing.
Built in 1984. 1984.
Man, so I didn't even see like the fun mafia stuff.
Yeah.
That's new.
The AC unit on the roof is crazy to me.
Bro.
AC unit on the roof and window units.
It's Vegas. How did you not put that in there to begin with? Dear goodness gracious.
This one does not have any fun facts about it. No. Where is this one located?
Just says Las Vegas.
New Vegas.
It says New Vegas.
It just shows like the Vegas Strip. Previous day.
Yeah.
256.
Hey.
Oh, we're in the state of Oklahoma in Oklahoma City. This is a very Oklahoma City looking house. Right. Michael, if you can guess. Oh, wait, never mind.
Wait, hold on. That's not true because it's not blown over by a tornado.
Yeah.
This isn't Norman.
This must be a new construction house. It is brick. Most of AZ has the AC units on the roof. Is that a thing they do there? That's crazy. Only the Okies can guess. Kevin says 650, going for 650.
Arizona, like if it's Phoenix, if it's not summertime, it's probably real nice.
It's 2 down.
Kevin with it?
2 down from 650. I was on track with Kevin. I thought, sure.
I'm gonna do 230 just to see.
David says 230. There's no way. Is it?
Yep. David, freaking jeez. With the 220.
How is this house 220? I'm moving back to Oklahoma.
Oh, I love it. And it's Oklahoma City, so you're not.
It's a 2-bed. It is a 2-bed, 1-bath.
You're gonna.
So it's not a huge house. Okay. So that is expensive for.
That's a nice little starter house. But yeah, that's built in 1940. Holy crap!
And
how's that still up?
Never mind. It's got. This house has so many additions to it. Not worth it. It looks like somebody HGTV'd the hell out of the bathroom. Look, go to number 6. The shower is atrocious.
Man, is that 2 different type of tiles?
Yeah, the floor tile and the wall tile don't match.
Bill 1940 my butt. There's no way.
And we've got gold fixture with gold, or is that wood? Looks gold to me. Mirror with gold towel loop, but then we have black curtain rods.
Oh boy.
Who's designing this place? Okay, and wait a minute. A worse crime. A worse crime is a silver towel rack above the toilet.
Oof. Also, you see the glass doorknob.
And the glass doorknob. At least it's got some gold on it. That's an old doorknob.
Yeah, very, very
this
old.
I bet money on this that this house was a flip. They bought it for real cheap and flipped it.
I want to know where in Oklahoma City this is. But yeah, no, it looks like a lot went into it being poorly designed.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or maybe they just keep rebuilding sections of the house over here.
Do one more notice here.
One?
Okay, we're doing one more.
Here we go.
255. Only 1,000 square foot. That's why. Yeah, it's super small. Holy cow, we're in Memphis, Tennessee. This house is gotta be at least 150,000.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't live here, but beggars can't be choosers. You know what I mean?
Dude, Memphis. So there's a lot of music money going in and out of there.
Yeah, I feel like Memphis is like not. This is probably the only nice area in Memphis. I've heard some things about Memphis, Tennessee.
I don't know. I have not spent too much time in Tennessee, just going through it.
Noni says 2.5. Can the Knowns
That would be nice.
get a one guess? Oh, it's one arrow down from $2.5 million. Look at the sitting room in this place. Jeez Louise.
All right, it's one up from 2 mil. Wow, so
okay.
First time guessing.
First guess.
That was really close.
Very close. It's between 2 and 2.5 mil. It was sold in 2022.
Yes, they were, Kevin.
Were they part of the South? Memphis? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's down from 2.5 and it's up from 2. Parts of Memphis are rough AF.
223.
Oh. All right. You go 223, I'll go 22. Submit. And it's 2. David was only off by $5,000 if you put 223 in.
That was so close. Yeah. That's crazy, David.
David, he put that 3 in there.
5 baths, 5 beds. Holy crap.
It's 1.3 acres. 1.03 acres. This kitchen is crazy. Is that a pizza oven? What?
Dude, look at number
it's 5. A wine rack. Number 5?
Picture 5.
Yo. They got a theater. It's a theater room.
Oh, it's a theater room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a dungeon. I'm not sure. It's a really nice, real nice dungeon.
Either way, it's real nice.
The back patio. Crazy town.
Daggum. Interesting.
This isn't even attached to the house, I don't think. Because look, the shutters on the right, they open outward. And there's a yard behind it. So that's like just a back sitting area.
Wow,
Wheel of Fortune rules you did go over a little bit. But I think you're thinking of Price is Right. If we're going Price is Right rules, David did go over, and Maggie would have gotten the prize. That's low-key cheap. I mean,
for 5 bath, 5 bed, and decent access to an airport.
I mean, that depends on who you're asking, because for me, that's low-key expensive.
Yeah.
Noni said she'll take it.
That's
all right.
Surprisingly low for the money that goes through Memphis.
Yeah,
that's kind of low. I'm kind of surprised.
I feel like
Nashville
is probably the higher money city.
How close are those two?
A couple hours or an hour or so apart.
Couple hours.
Yeah. Memphis is.
Whoa.
Memphis isn't Memphis. I can't remember. Price is Right. Can't, dude.
Oh,
I can't think either. There's a map here.
Wait, so I was thinking the other one. Yeah,
You
this is way overpriced.
You were thinking.
Oh, I've been through Memphis.
Where the heck is
To that north.
Nashville.
East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nashville's straight up from Birmingham. I live really close to Chattanooga.
Arkansas. Wait a second.
I had to drive through
Chattanooga.
I had to drive through Memphis to get to where where I'm living.
This is almost
When I
smack
drove.
dab in the middle of us. Tulsa to Memphis. Or Tulsa to... Right. Wait, where'd you say you were again?
Just
Chattanooga?
Just like an hour away from Chattanooga, hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh, so...
Because there's Atlanta right there. Below.
Very nice.
All right. Nice house. Unfortunately, Noni, it sold 2022 0527. So not on the market apparently. So it
Also,
which means
2014. Wow.
that's just what this house sold for. So 3 years ago it sold for that. Now it's probably well into
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if it said 3 million.
Right?
All right. Well, let's jump into the rest of the pod. Good game, everybody.
Fantastic.
We did, before we got reinforcements, we did lose a Guess the House, and that's rough. I was actually surprised.
It was a trick.
It was a trick.
That was because the pictures we were being shown were not indicative to the value of the house.
Yeah. We had no idea the area of said house.
But hey, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I hate being
I'm looking. You hate being what?
B&Bs sometimes.
Oh, Airbnbs.
Yeah. That's
I kind
the house
of
reminded me of it.
I feel like I'm going to boycott Airbnb entirely. Just because.
Why not?
Well, on our honeymoon, we went to an Airbnb and got natural gas poisoning.
Freaking gassed. Yeah.
And then they never gave us a refund. They were like, "You're gonna have to deal with the owner of the house," and I'm like, the company Airbnb is not going to take matters into their own hands and be like, hey, maybe we can't have this guy renting out a house that potentially has natural gas leaking in it.
You think so?
So I'm off the Airbnb train. I'm going to be verboing everything now. Kevin was off his game today. Yeah, but you only had one guess.
Kevin, get it next time.
You only had that one guess for the... for the one we lost.
In late. Yeah. Probably would have guessed it.
We have a lot of varying topics I'm looking at right now.
Right.
I don't think we've talked about CIA fake slurs.
No, well, it's just the one.
Fake slur. Not all slurs are fake. They're all made up by the CIA.
They're all made up by the CIA.
What?
Hey, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
No, there's a yeah. No, go ahead. We got.
I think we'll just start.
Crazy week has happened.
We'll start with movie. Get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump into some of these more. I feel like all of these are political.
Kind of political this week.
We're a little political, and that's all right. But just keep an open mind and know that
stuff has happened politically this week.
If you're right, you're right, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, JK. Where's Caleb? I don't know where Caleb is.
Yeah, right.
He might be listening and is just lurking. As soon as we say something out of pocket, he'll be here.
Say something bad about the Avatar show.
I just don't like anime. But
oh man, he might be dead.
Somebody put on a wellness check for Caleb.
This was his.
This was his suggestion. Well. Yeah, that's why she was asking. Maggie has beef with Caleb for suggesting this movie.
Sure. Yeah.
However, the movie of the week was Wind River. I don't remember if that's. Did we say that was the movie last week?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Caleb came in and said it.
Oh yeah.
Because he was going through he was like, "Have you guys seen Wind River?" And then we were like, "Oh, I don't think so." And then immediately was like Wind River.
You're correct. Yeah. This is a movie about a game, a wildlife fishing game officer. I guess is what they're called.
A hunter, right? Was he licensed, or was he just a guy that they always?
No, he was wildlife fishing game. His truck said that. At least. Right. 13th reason.
13th reason. Oh, jeez.
And it takes place in a Indian reservation in Wyoming. And it's kind of sad, the whole movie. It's not a funny movie. If you were hoping to watch Wind River and have a laugh,
no.
If you laugh during this movie, you may need to go seek mental help or go to church. One or the other. I'm not sure.
I laughed during this movie, but it was only because a guy got shot.
That's fine. That's fine. But this movie follows a wildlife fishing game officer who lives on the reservation and stumbles upon a body in the woods, frozen. It is early spring, and for those of you who are not accustomed to the north, early spring is just late winter. So it's very cold, very snowy still. And he finds this body of a girl who he knows, and starts a whole investigation. The FBI is called, and they kind of do their little... There's really not any detective work done. It's just tracking. It's really just the wild... Yeah. Nobody really figures it out except for the wildlife guy.
Well, they run into a lot of bureaucracy.
Yeah, red tape, being that it was on an Indian res, so they have to go through res rules and all of that. But then they eventually... I don't know how much I can say about this movie. Right. It is kind of a trigger warning if you go watch it.
Trigger warning and spoiler warning. Very much trigger warning.
Yeah. I was not prepared for what happened or what was shown, because they allude to a lot. The girl in the woods was assaulted, and she ran from a place and died on the run. Yes, we said trigger warning. And then they ended up finding another dead body that kind of brought them back to the bad guys. Spoiler alert, the good guys win, I guess, in this movie. Nobody really... It's hard to say that somebody won, but the bad guys definitely lost.
Right. That might be the better. It's like the good guys might not have necessarily won, but the bad guys definitely lost.
The bad guys got theirs.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, I can't imagine.
If it would have ended not that way, it would have been a terrible movie.
Wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
It's a pretty hard. It's not a hard watch. It's a heavy watch. And the whole movie, I think, is put on to bring awareness to. At the end, it showed. It said that like every other race has statistics on missing persons, specifically for women, and the native tribes on reservations have zero statistics. They don't even know how many are missing. So it is obviously bringing a little bit of light to missing persons and whatnot. I don't know how much this movie would impact that, because all of those stats would have to be done by the reservations themselves.
Each reservation.
It's their own like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, I don't know how much I should say on my personal beliefs on this, but I'll leave it at the Indian reservations are kind of responsible for themselves. So things that are happening, they're kind of responsible for handling that, making it better, doing something better. Obviously, there are some outliers and things that can be helped, but ultimately the res authorities have to handle that. What is your...
And it's also different tribes.
Yeah.
And different... how each state interacts.
Each tribe and each state.
It's a complete mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah. I have family members that are part of the Cherokee Nation, and the Cherokee Nation has a lot of their stuff together.
Yeah.
But it's still you don't really want to have to deal with not political stuff, but law enforcement stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, it's still very messy.
Yeah, they're well off because they have so many nice casinos. I'm just kidding. Joking. What are your thoughts on the movie, Mike?
Let's see. Yeah, go into it. I would recommend, if somebody was to go into it, probably check the IMDb parental guide, so you get understanding of what's going to be shown and talked about. I thought the movie was really well done.
Yeah.
I like, as soon as it was over, I had a strong urge to watch it again. I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Obviously. Just because, like, it's weird. Not cadence, but how fast it ramps up is surprising, because it was over halfway through and man, nothing's really happening. All they're talking about is like bureaucracy and the history.
Yeah.
And then it just gets turned up to 11 real quick. And it doesn't end right after like the big conflict.
No. So
it was good. If it's not a lot, then it's all... Yeah. A lot of heavy topics. I think, like you said, I don't know how many people on the res or in power on the res are going to watch this and say, hey, we have to do something.
Yeah.
But in terms of like things that I can do, it's like, if you see like a Native American person, just like out and about, kind of like keep a heads up, because it's like, does that person need help?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a woman.
Not out and about by themselves. If they're by themselves, leave them alone.
No, you don't have to go up to them, but like,
if they look in distress,
give a mental note. Yeah. Definitely in distress.
When go ahead.
There's kind of more trigger warning. There is a lot of, I don't know, evidence that the tribes are being taken advantage of by sex traffickers because of this like oversight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, nothing's really out in the open in terms of, if somebody goes missing. A lot of times they're just thought to have left the reservation and gone to live in a city or something. So they just write it up as that, and it's a giant question mark of what happens.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's a big oversight and strong opportunity for foul players.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the movie, I think it was good at kind of showing what can happen. It said at the beginning, was it like based on true events or like based on a real story? It was a slight deviation of that sentiment. But I looked it up, and it doesn't look like there's no direct connection to a case. And then it's kind of speculative if it's an amalgamation of multiple cases.
Right.
But I don't think it wasn't going to be a historical, like, retelling of something. It was going to show that there's an issue.
It was more of a raise awareness story than it was like this
true
is a
story.
True story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably based on events.
Yeah.
Multiple
stuff like this
plural.
can definitely happen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All these things can happen. It's very feasible.
Yeah.
The writer, I looked him up because I think like everybody who was acting did a really good job.
It was crazy that
Jeremy Renner,
Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye were both in this movie.
Yeah, right. There's a little blip on like the Amazon thing. It was like that's the third time they'd worked together on a project.
Oh, really?
And the other two were Marvel movies. So, I liked them. I liked all the actors. Man, the bad guys make me want to jump into the screen and start shooting.
Yeah.
So they did a good job.
Bad guys did a really good job.
The writer is the same guy who created Yellowstone.
Oh, okay.
Did that come through? Yeah.
Yeah, Yellowstone.
And then he also wrote a movie called Hell or High Water. That was really good. And he wrote Sicario, which have we watched that on this?
Wait.
I know it's on the list.
Wait a minute. This guy has written Yellowstone, Wind River, Hell or High Water. What's the
where's the Earth one?
No, he already did Yellowstone. He did Stone already.
Yeah.
We need a fire one.
Hold on.
Which Hell and
there's got to be a fire one.
Maybe it's Hell and High Water.
Hold on.
He did them both in the same one.
I gotta find this guy. But the writer actually directed this one too. And he didn't direct Sicario.
Gotcha.
Which have we watched that? It's on the list, and it's been on the list for a minute. Drug traffickers, Mexican border.
I think I've seen Sicario.
I love that movie.
If I saw
this guy's doing real well. Here,
he's busting him out.
There's the I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. Love that one. That one's basically Wildlands the movie.
Yeah.
Wrote that. Wind River, Yellowstone, Tulsa King, all the Yellowstone spinoff shows.
Yeah.
And then Landman, which is new. And then a show on Paramount called Mayor of Kingstown, which also has Jeremy Renner. And that looked really good.
Yeah.
But this guy's got a niche for like modern day cowboy stuff. And old world cowboy stuff. But he's doing real well.
Yeah. Busting him out.
It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I had heard about this movie multiple times, but knew I had to watch out, who I suggested it to or who I watched it with, just because of how intense it is.
Yeah, like Maggie said,
the subject matter.
It's like chill. Like there's heavy topics talked about, and then all of a sudden it's like 0 to 100 real fast, and you're like,
yeah,
oh my.
Also, like I don't know if it's probably the writing and the editing and the directing. So he did a really good job of this, but like all the anticipation of like what happened that night, and then it just shows you.
Yeah.
Like it just cuts right to it.
That transition in a real good way. Was really good.
Yeah. And oh my gosh. And good timing. So it's like you know the audience knows, oh, whatever's behind that door, this is not a good situation.
Not good.
Very well done movie.
In my brain, I called it when he said, "Hey, whatever his name was, Jim or Carl or whatever heck, the FBI lady's right in front of the door."
Yeah,
I was right. Bullets are coming through that door. I was like, I would have, if I was that FBI agent, I would have dove off that porch.
Man,
and she did. She did dive off it, just backwards. I was a little bit. I mean, I guess for the theatrics of it all, it's cool, but I was a little bit disappointed in how fake the
people reacted
the
guns.
Gunfight was.
Yeah,
like it was okay, but it was like if she would have, she flew like 15 feet off the back of that. Off those stairs. If she'd have just fell backwards or like, you know. They could have done it a little less dry. Like, it was way too dramatic. They could have, like, toned it down just a bit, and it would have looked really good. But the fact that she, like, flew backwards it kind of took me out of, like, oh, this is a real story, and put me into, like, oh, this is
a movie.
This is a movie.
Yeah.
They just yeeted that girl off the porch.
The part that I laughed at was when help arrives, and the one of the baddies indoors gets hit by a bullet and just like flies up against the wall.
Yeah.
Well, which I kind of like because this is nerdy gun stuff.
Yeah.
But he's using what looks like 45-70 something, a fat round.
Something fat. Yeah.
Yeah. And if the guy's got a bulletproof vest on, which a few of them did, like all that kinetic energy is going into transfers you, and you're gonna get hit real hard. It was over the top, but like the idea is actually in there somewhere.
100%. Yeah, I mean, she took a 12 gauge shotgun shell to the chest.
Yeah,
that's gonna throw you on your ass. But like and I didn't want her just to like stand there and like and like fall backwards. But like you could tell she got yanked off that porch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like the whole illusion of like, oh, this is a really like intense moment kind of like evaporated for me when she got blown off the porch. I was like, oh, okay.
It's understandable.
Now we're doing Hollywood gun stuff.
Right.
Also, I appreciate them trying. This is just me being a nerd. Or like a critique of guns, but like they tried to show her reloading in the scene where she's checking the drug house for more people, and then the guy with the shotgun, she shoots the guy with the shotgun. She is shooting down the hallway and then runs out of ammo and just immediately has another mag.
Oh yeah.
Like there was no like picking up another mag, putting it in, shooting. It was like they tried to make her look too John Wick.
Well, even John Wick would, like, they take pride in like the showing
the realism.
The reloading.
It was like if John Wick had a magazine in his hand. That's how fast she did it. It was like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Which, like, to John Wick's credit, for anyone who's seen those movies and knows a little bit about guns, like, you can't watch other movies like the same anymore.
No,
it's like you can make that part interesting and exciting. People are just cutting it out in the editing room.
Yeah,
or don't know how to film it.
In my opinion, I would have left out the reload. I would have just. She emptied her gun.
You think so?
I would have left it out. Yeah. I don't think it added anything. I think they were trying to make her look like cool operator lady. And I guess for other people who don't know as much about guns, that looks cool, operator lady, you know, and it like maybe they don't think about it as hard, but for people who think about it too hard like I do, it's like it was a little much. But back to the sniper rifle, I'm pretty sure it might be a Merlin lever action, and it's
I think so.
I don't remember the round. Is it
I know, well, the Merlin comes in multiple rounds, but
there's a fat.
It was just something fat. Hold on. Movie.
It's it comes in 357, 4570, and 3030.
Man, it could have been. I think it was a little smaller than 4570. It might have been 3030.
Might have been the 3030.
Let me check.
But it had that like that darker. It might have been the 3030 win lever action. It looks just like it.
Okay, according to the Internet Movie Firearms Database, it's Marlin model 1895 SBL, and they're saying it's a 4570, or maybe that's just a picture they got.
Anyway, back to the sniper. I thought it was funny because he like when he's taking out the guys in the field, like the one guy gets absolutely just dropped and like thrown to the ground, and then he shoots another guy who's kneeling, and he gets like blasted backwards, and then shoots the third guy, and that guy just like drops straight down. And so there was like,
yeah,
okay, wait a minute, is this bullet throwing people across the field, or is it dropping him? And I suppose if he hit him in different spots, it would do different things. But
I'm also wondering if it shows who's wearing bulletproof vests.
Maybe so.
And then also, yeah, the same thing of like where you hit him. But I mean, if he's headshot, he's dropping real quick.
For sure. But overall, the gun stuff wasn't like a big deal. I was just little critiques that I saw, and I was like,
it wasn't terrible.
That wasn't terrible.
It wasn't, yeah.
The movie, however, very heavy. Not something that you just want to be like, hey, kids, gather round. But I thought it was well done. From a subjective standpoint, it was well done movie. I think they represented like the North well. I feel like sometimes movies will be like, oh, we're in Alaska, and then it's like not very Alaska, or not very like, you know, I feel like they really stuck to the climate that they were in, and they like really played off of that as pretty well. I'm giving this movie it's not a movie that I'm gonna like watch over
just
and over
on
again. Yeah.
Oh, well, the buy, rent, or pass. You gotta do that one.
I would rent this movie.
Definitely rent.
I would definitely rent.
Right?
I think it's a good watch. It's a hard topic, but it's an important thing to bring awareness to. That doesn't have to be, I mean, this may be like it's not about you, it's about, you know, but like it's an important thing that happens all over the place, not you know, not specifically just in reservations, but I understand the movie's trying to bring light to the reservation.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this movie a 7. It was well done. It's heavy. I'm not gonna watch it again. But I didn't hate it. It was apart from the super heavy parts, it was very well done.
Yeah. So we kind of had something similar with what was it, Leaving Las Vegas, where that was a hard watch, but it was something that like doesn't get talked about.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something that does happen. I think this was easier to watch than that movie was.
I don't know if I remember all of Leaving Las Vegas.
is the one where Nicolas Cage was like drinking himself to death.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yep.
So, like, this one I think is more digestible than that.
Yeah.
And I think I want to credit the filmmakers to that. And it's one of those things that's an ugly part of American society that doesn't get talked about. And it's important to talk about because nobody's talking about it.
Right.
And it's happening. I want to give this. I really enjoyed. Man, saying I enjoyed it is hard because it's like I didn't enjoy the like horrible things that happened.
Yeah.
But the in terms of like filmmaking and how it was done, I thought really well done. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. But I think that whole thing of like you can't show that, like you have to know what you're getting into with this one.
You almost have to spoil the like. It's not a spoiler because it's like it's very forward as like at the very beginning what happened.
Right.
But like you almost have to warn somebody and be like, hey.
Yeah, it's heavy subject matter, and then the fact that they show a lot of it. They don't show everything, thank God.
Yeah.
But they show a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's because then like if people are just talking about it, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like represented later on
it's
and
shown,
that's part of the story, that is a spoiler. But yeah, it's awful. But I thought it was a good movie. I'd give it an 8. And if not buy, then definitely rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
this
sure.
one was on sale, so I went and bought it. I bought it.
Oh, you bought it? Nice.
Yeah.
But
not showing this to many people.
No. No, it's definitely not a everybody movie.
Not a gather around the campfire type movie.
Gather around and show your grandparents. Not
so much.
What's next week's movie? So it was Caleb. That means Sexy Bigfoot?
I think so. Let me check.
We're coming back around to like Sexy Bigfoot, Brandy, Maggie.
Yeah. I in my notes I have a shared list that is ours, which is film order.
Yeah.
And then my nephew, he has a huge list of like movies that people tell him to watch. Which is called movie list. So I always like almost click on that.
Yeah.
Like nope, that's not it. Let's see, Sexy Bigfoot. Oh, good God. Okay. We're going into Shawshank Redemption. With Sexy Bigfoots. God, this is gonna be a rough patch. What's Kevin suggesting?
Is Kevin next? After Sexy Bigfoot?
Okay, so Kevin's got a Jackie Chan movie after this one. So like there's
so we're gonna do we got another heavy one coming. Man, we should have just watched like Schindler's List, this movie, freaking all the heavy ones. All right, so Shawshank Redemption is the movie for next week.
And
watch
just
it.
Just because we talked about it this week, this one does have heavy topics. But
heavy topics.
I know you don't like going into, or you like going in as knowing as little as possible. But
I mean,
just heads up.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Man, that's almost hilarious.
The timing.
We talked about this movie, and then just go right into Shawshank. Okay. Oh boy.
All right. Watch it if you want or don't. But that's what we're watching. Let's see. How do you segue out of talking about heavy topics like that? Trump and Elon broke up, apparently.
Let's go into something lighter. Politics.
Yeah, hey, let's talk about politics.
Oh, man.
So I don't know a whole lot about all of this. I've seen stuff here and there. I've got a gist.
I don't know what this is. So this is apparently over a bill.
Yeah,
I don't know what the bill entails.
It's the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
And apparently it spent money in an exuberant way for something and Elon didn't agree, or there was a disagreement about said bill. And so did Elon step down from his position at Doge? Or is he?
I don't remember what he said.
Are they just having a little bit of a hiatus?
I don't know all the details.
Yeah.
I just know some of the accusations. I was just looking at the big, beautiful bill, which is, man, that's a funny name for a bill. That's so silly. But it looks like an official debt cutting. And
he did step down. It was always the plan. Yeah, I figured he wasn't going to full-time politics.
Cuts, drawbacks, reductions in non-military government spending. Interesting.
Yeah, I did see today that they have made up a little bit. They're not at each other's throats.
Sure. Which it's kind of crazy, but I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
I saw a thing where Elon said that Trump was on the Epstein list.
Yes.
I don't think I believe that. I think I saw a counter video to that claim, and the woman said that Trump was on the flight list, but it wasn't going to the island. It went somewhere else. And I think that we already knew that, because I want to say I've seen that.
Yeah, no, we did know that. Or at least we knew he was on a list.
However, you're telling me that in 8 years, a whole 8 years, the Dems didn't come up with that themselves? You know what I mean? They had that smoking gun the whole time, and they weren't going to play that.
I don't think they want to because of how many people are on the list.
Fair enough.
Because, and as we've seen with, I'm just going to use the Dems as an example here, but what happened with Bernie Sanders in 2016, where top down it was we're not going to back up Sanders, we're going to back up Clinton.
Yeah.
There does seem to be a understanding with policy like that, where don't attack him on this. You know what I mean? So
that does make sense, because then they'd out themselves at the same time.
Right. And also lend credence to the list. You know what I mean?
Right.
So which I'm still not there's a video I found that it tracked everybody's where they went on the list. But it, man, if I was on this list, I would do everything to prove that I had nothing connected person, right?
Sure.
Chris Tucker from Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 1 through 3. He's on the list too. And I believe he was also one of the people who were just on the list but didn't go to the island. Yeah. If I was him, I would be listen, I don't want to mess around with this. There's nothing we did here. So, but do you think, I don't understand people not.
Do you think by saying that incriminates you a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. But
it's kind of it's like grabbing a
damned if you do, damned if
double-edged sword. You're gonna get cut on both sides,
And then people who are probably higher up in power don't want it talked about, right, at all. So you probably get in trouble from them.
Yeah. It's a weird area, but like Maggie said, I think they are on the up and up, at least a little bit publicly.
Yeah, recovering.
They're recovering. Yeah. Maybe they had a little powwow. They had a little chit chat. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Personally, I think
the memes that came out of this were
memes were funny. Personally, I think this was blown out of proportion. Everyone was like,
sure.
It's like
yeah, Empire's falling.
If it had been anyone else, nobody would have cared. You know what I mean? Just because it was two high profile people that disagreed, which nobody said Elon Musk and President Trump agreed on everything. You know what I mean? It's not like
for sure.
You know, they were very buddy, but I think it was definitely blown out of proportion.
And Elon, probably more than Trump, but Trump understands this, is that like you want people talking about it, so you'll kind of say anything.
Sure.
Anything.
It makes news. But yeah, hopefully they get back together.
Yeah. I'm looking at this bill and just so many alarm bells are going off, because it's like it's what they're saying versus like what they're providing for, you know, how they're going to get there.
Sure.
Is very, there's nothing in terms of how they're going to get there.
I feel like I think this is the bill that had no tax on overtimes and no tax on tips.
There you go.
And no tax on Social Security, I think is what was it was like 3 no taxes.
It's crazy because like if they get rid of the taxes and then they're also planning on cutting, which they're planning on cutting government like spending.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I think that's what Elon had a problem with, is it wasn't enough cut, or it was too much spending or something. It was that government spending bill. It pretty much wiped away everything they had done in Doge.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I saw one of the things that they're cutting is like, what is it called when the government like grant money for stuff, and he was taking advantage of the grant money for electric cars.
Oh, Elon was?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's why he was mad. But, you know,
listen,
like what got past while they were distracting us with this? You know what I mean?
We're the guys you trust with your drink, not your political views. So, do your own research.
What do you all think?
Orphan crushing machine. Have you heard of this saying?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is I didn't realize what it was. Oops. But I saw a video the other day of an explanation, and I haven't seen it used anywhere until this guy brought it up. Essentially, what the orphan crushing machine is people are commenting orphan crushing machine on posts and stories and news articles and whatever.
Usually seemingly wholesome
news articles like boy raises money for cancer treatment or something like that, you know. Right. And it's a machine. How do I explain this? It made sense when I watched the video.
It's like the whole idea of the orphan. What is it called? The orphan smashing?
Crushing machine.
Orphan crushing machine is like it's presented as a news snippet of like hero guy spends $200,000 to save orphans from orphan crushing machine.
Yeah.
And it's pointing out the fact that
why is there an orphan crushing machine?
Nobody's questioning why there's an orphan crushing machine, and why do we have to pay to?
Yeah, why did hero guy have to save an orphan from a crushing machine?
Let's get rid of the machine.
Yeah, get rid of the machine.
Right.
And so I thought that was interesting. I hadn't seen anything about it until this last week, and I thought that was really interesting. It it makes you think about a lot of stuff because you're like, oh, that's a nice story. Like, you know, it's really any story that
any medical
is supposed to make you
kids.
feel good, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, that's great. And then you realize, like, wait a minute, why did the whole town have to come together to pay these medical bills in the first place?
Right.
For this kid that
shouldn't insurance be covering?
Yeah,
that?
like,
or just anything.
And it is an interesting. It makes you think. It makes you sit and think a little bit. And when you see like heartwarming stories, it makes you go like, why is there an orphan crushing machine to begin with?
Right. Yeah.
So
it's a good thought exercise. Definitely question everything, really.
Sure.
I've seen, one of the curses of the internet is you see the other end of that where people will just be like orphan crushing machine, but won't ask why something isn't, or is the way it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I'm not talking about medical stuff because the medical field is, we know insurance.
The medical field is an orphan crushing machine.
Yeah, and it's, oh my gosh, yeah. It's an orphan crushing machine that won't take your money to not crush the orphans.
Yeah, no, they will crush the orphans and then charge you for it.
Yeah. But sometimes sometimes there is explanations for stuff, and this is used to just throw it away.
Sure.
And then also, a lot of people will use it to... I hate these people that I run into, but as opposed to saying, hey, good job, but why? They'll just say, but why?
Yeah.
So they won't give any credit to the person who actually is working on and like trying to fix something. And if they're pointing out the orphan crushing machine as something as institutional, like in terms of government, it's kind of just screaming into the void.
Yeah.
But regardless, it is a good experiment.
I think that's important to, because it's like, point out the orphan crushing machine, but also in the meantime,
go fix it.
While we're trying to figure out how to get rid of these orphan crushing machines, like, obviously it's great that this person did what they did to help, because obviously no one else is helping. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
at least they're saving the orphans from the machine. You
Absolutely.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's what I run into is like slacktivism connected to it. Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, let's find out why and then do something about it. But some people just say, but why, and won't find out why, just won't do anything. And that gets annoying to me.
Yeah.
But I think it is very important to question, because it's almost like confirmation bias. That story of survivorship bias. The story of like the airplanes that came back in World War II, and they showed where those airplanes had been hit. And so it was like, okay, where do we put armor on these airplanes, right?
Yeah.
And you would think it's where, like, just looking at the diagram and not thinking about it, you would think it's where they got shot, right?
Yeah.
But in actuality, those planes are coming back.
Right.
So we don't need to armor up what's coming back.
It's where
we need to find out what.
It's where they didn't get shot is where you want to armor.
And the ones that didn't come back, where did they get shot? But it's like a version of that almost. No, a very good thought experiment, and something to put into your calculations.
Absolutely,
all the time.
Man, we are swinging from one way to the other. CIA fake slur conspiracy. Okay,
so I could have thought we might have talked about this.
I don't remember talking about this.
So there is a okay, how do I want to put this? Because it is a slur that is known as a slur, but what's weird about it, also I'm trying to think if I want to, okay, so
what is the slur?
If something is scary, it's spooky. Take away the why. That's That's apparently a slur, right? That slur, spooky minus the Y.
Yeah.
That is apparently a slur for African Americans. I did not know this.
Really?
Right?
I didn't know either.
You didn't know this? Okay.
I should probably quit saying that to people.
Well, that's... I should probably stop calling them that. What's crazy is that was... Like, I grew up in a very not racist household, so yes. I didn't know that was a
unaware
slur. What's weird is that was a slur, if you want to call it that, but it was a slang term for somebody who was in the CIA or somebody who was in a secretive government agency.
That was a slur for secret agents?
Yes. And that one I had heard before.
How did they switch that to be a slur for African Americans?
I don't know. And I looked it up, and there's no real cause, right? There's no real apparent cause of it. I heard that being used as a slur or not even a slur, it's a term for secretive agents for the U.S. government, so FBI or CIA.
Yeah.
Being used in from guys talking about interactions in the 60s and 50s. So right after World War II.
Yeah.
And then I have only heard that being a slur for African Americans from the 70s at the latest. And that might just be me from what I've heard.
Yeah.
But I think it's weird that the people we're not supposed to ask questions about can't get called a slur.
Huh.
Because it's connected to somebody else for no reason.
They decided to deflect, and they were like, nah, that's a slur for African Americans.
This is all in Minecraft that I found. And I have no basis whatsoever in reality. Just something I noticed.
I wonder if I
just think...
take this off, if it'll keep its shape.
Ooh.
Nope.
You're still safe.
We're gonna go with that much. I don't feel like putting the whole thing on.
No, that's fair.
Now I have a nipple on my head.
Okay, if you had who else watching this? Because I have a great joke.
Nobody's watching.
Okay, hold on.
Except for Maggie. Apparently she knew. Did you know that was a slur, Maggie? Ask your grandpa why they made it a secret, or why they see if he has any CIA buddies that'll tell him.
If you were a supervillain, this would be your name.
You sent it to me in text?
Huh? No, I put it on the chat.
The titanium tit. Look, it's even got a little nipple too.
You're back, Superman.
It's
yeah. He was SS during that time. What? Wait. SS? Who was SS?
Secret Service.
Oh,
look at that. We said something out of pocket, and here comes Caleb.
There he is.
It's like
Maggie, Caleb's here.
It's like you freaking. It's a magic spell, a conjuring, if you will, for Caleb.
Okay, so Caleb.
All it took was tits and racism. Caleb, have you heard the slur? And I say this strictly out of
love and questioning
of ignorance. Spook being a slur.
Oh boy,
have you heard that one? I didn't even know that was one.
I didn't know.
I said it. Listen, I don't know.
Oh no, but it's not a common one.
I've never heard of it.
Have you also heard that, Caleb? Have you also heard that term being used for somebody who's in a shady government role, like CIA and FBI.
See, that makes sense. Like that.
Right. That makes sense. The other one doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all. Unless you're a white woman and you're scared of somebody walking down the sidewalk.
Even then, there's like
they spooked me.
LeSean Burnett. Okay. So I have a conspiracy that it was turned into a racial slur because the CIA didn't want people talking about them that way.
They were like, "Don't call us names. That's mean."
Yeah. Stop.
We're not.
Was a black guy. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know it was a racist thing until.
In what capacity did he say it? What was the context? Was he calling another black guy that?
White guy
or was it a
this.
white? Was he saying? Yeah. Was he calling? Was it gang on gang violence or was it? I can send you a video if you want. You saw a video of a guy. This wasn't a friend.
Okay, so maybe it does out. If that's the case, maybe it does out. Is older than the other one. But man, what am I supposed to call them as a slur?
And Maggie's grandpa,
the agents, not.
And Maggie's grandpa's racist, so that's why she knows. She knows what.
I think actually my dad was like, "Don't say that. That's a slur." At some point.
As hell.
There you go.
Nice guy to your face. If you're a different color.
They always are.
Always are. They're always the nicest ones.
So yeah, that's ooh. He's part of the Secret Service. That's interesting.
Yeah, and he was in the Secret Service.
Didn't work in Dallas in the 60s, did he?
Did we? Did we talk about the ICE riots in LA?
I don't think so. I think they just popped off since we've talked.
All right, last
we
topic.
Haven't talked about it today.
ICE riots.
Last time we talked. Guarded Ladybird. There you go.
Get out your coolers because we're talking about ICE. There's riots in LA apparently. I've only seen
real bad
a little bit here and there.
Peaceful protests.
A lot of rocks being thrown at police vehicles is what I've seen. A lot of burning vehicles.
And Molotov. Yep.
How about you just stop that? How about you don't do that?
Just buy a house.
And listen, that's probably I would. Comedy is such a weird thing because obviously I'm joking, right? But also, there's a little bit of truth to it. Like, just don't do that. But I can hear is like a sensitive person being like, well, of course you would do that because you're white and privileged and blah blah blah. It's like,
yeah.
Listen, man, just don't like. Maybe the best way to do that isn't to throw rocks at cars. But then I say that, and then they're like, well, nothing else works, so now it's time to throw some stuff at some death. People flying flags, for countries they don't want to live in while burning the flag of the country they want to live in make it make sense. You're not wrong.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Whenever I wrote this down, they were still being people were trying to keep it quiet how bad it had gotten. But it looks like today major news outlets are actually being like, okay, this has actually gotten pretty out of hand.
Yeah.
So kind of a little bit beating a dead horse, because I wrote this down like as soon as I found out a few days ago. And what I was seeing was, nobody was covering it. And then all of a sudden just videos of Molotovs and, riots.
Yeah, I believe Trump is sending in the Marines or something.
National
Guard. And Newsom, the governor of California, is trying to sue Trump for it and saying that it's an overreaction and that they
allegedly Newsom was like encouraging the stuff.
I'm sure.
Oh, he sent the Marines out too? Oh, dear Lord.
I'm sure he was. And then Maxine Waters, didn't even know she was still alive, was caught like face to face with one of these Coast Guard or
they pulled in the Coast Guard for this,
or not the Coast Guard, the National Guard that was holding a rifle, obviously because they do that. They're the military, and she was like all up in their face and was like, "What are you gonna do with that gun? Shoot me?" And it's like, lady, you're a governor or you're a freaking senator of California. Go back to your house with your gate and your armed security and go freaking frick off. It was so stupid. Google thinks I'm trying to talk
crazy
to
about
her,
the Marines.
or she's reporting something. The FBI is going to show up to my house soon.
Just because the slur that we found out wasn't a real slur.
Listen, I didn't know. Okay.
Do whatever you want about the freaking
I didn't realize. But yeah, crazy town in LA. I'm waiting for the Koreans to strike.
Right?
Because wasn't that where it originally went down? The rooftop Koreans was in LA.
Oh, was that LA? Yeah, I think that was Rodney King.
It was during the LA riots.
Yeah.
LA's kind of known for riots. They love to riot.
Oh, man.
And let me tell you, when the rooftop Koreans showed up, stuff started getting done. Did you see
the guy? There's a guy who did like there's that meme format where it's like steal his look, and it was the rooftop Korean guy.
It was, say that again.
And
it cut out.
It was a meme format called like steal their look. And it was like the picture and then like it diagrammed what they had.
Yeah.
Where am I? Oh yes, I would love to hear this one. But he did that with one of the rooftop Koreans. It was pretty funny. But he also like did the meme and then like dressed up and had the weapon. It was pretty metal. Oh man. Oof. Sorry, Maggie.
It's a heavy movie, Caleb. It wasn't a bad movie. It just is very heavy. Good. Damn.
Stands on business.
Whoa. Caleb ain't backing down for nothing.
Wait, hold on. Have you seen it before?
She saw it already, and then I watched it in bed next to her. I watch it on my iPad while laying in bed normally. Sunday nights are my movie nights.
Yeah, that's okay. See, now I'm less sympathetic to the cause because that just sounds like he was being nosy. You've already seen it. No, if I don't want to watch the movies,
yeah, if it's a movie,
did you have to watch Coneheads? On your
I
iPad?
watched Coneheads on my iPad.
Yeah. Also, would rather watch this about 14 more times before Coneheads once.
Caleb, we gave it from the pass rent buy, we gave it a rent. I gave it a 7. Mike gave it an 8.5. It's very heavy. I have strong opinions about some stuff in the movie, but I cannot share them on the internet.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I kind of guessed that, but yeah, that makes sense.
What?
And I think I know what you can't share. Oh. And I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
But can't share it, which is understandable because I don't want to get deplatformed for what it's about. And then
listen, we're on episode 50. Yeah. We have 2 more till we finish season 2. I can't shut it down now.
Hey, we could try and get it shut down for like the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then just come up as a different
show. We will start talking about the most. We'll just
unhinged.
try to break all of the TTS. Isn't that what it's called? No, that's the test speech. What's the rules and regulations? We'll try to just break all of those. It is
like, I know you're kidding, but that does sound fun.
It would be so fun. TOS, yeah, terms of service. That is the end of the podcast. For the Maggie and the Caleb who would like to hear my views, I can sum them up very quickly if you join the Discord.
Yeah, I'd like to know that too,
chat.
If you don't mind.
Once we end the podcast. However, what a great podcast. We talked about
real heavy stuff.
Really heavy stuff. Politics, sexual assault, riots, some conspiracies, and I said a slur.
It's weird that like the racist stuff was actually kind of on the tamer end.
It was real tame. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Love you, mean it.
Thank y'all so much.
Stay hydrated, stay hammered, stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Peace.